Oh man. All right, dude. Are y'all ready to rock? That's awesome. Thanks for having me. I'm fired up. So I like to be a little bit more engaged. I like to engage with everybody. So I'd love to know what's the name of your company? What's the name of your company? Type it in the chat. If you could type it in the chat, we'd love to know. You can put the name of your company, or you can put the website for your company. I would love to just see. And what do you do? What do you do? Unstack.com. I love that. I had a business in college, and it was called collegeloadout.com, and it was you pack it, we stack it. I love that. So data analytics, we got marketing, we make podcasts for businesses. I like that, Darcy. Rented.com, pricing and revenue management professional. Oh, that's good. That's a great market. That's awesome, Andrew. Cool. Who else we got? Okay, sweet. Humanity focused video. That sounds good. We need to check that out. Booster fundraising for school. I love Booster. My wife was escorted by Chris Carneal at 17 years old as a debutante. Booster. Love it. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to keep this thing as interactive as possible. I want to introduce myself. My name is Casey Graham. I have no idea how a guy from Alabama gets asked to do anything that Georgia Tech is a part of. It's got to be the first time in human history that has actually happened, because you guys are the smart people. And it's just fun to be here today. And so what we're going to talk about, and what they've asked me to talk about, is this idea of LinkedIn, and of what's happening there, and why when people get on LinkedIn, they just see a slew of gravy people posting. And there's a lot of people right now that are wondering, like, LinkedIn, I thought LinkedIn was a place for where I just updated my resume, or I thought that's just where recruiters went to send me direct messages to get a job, or I thought LinkedIn was this thing, and it was. And it's really one of the most interesting platforms in my life, if I'm being honest. It's a dinosaur. I mean, this thing's been around since like early 2000s, and it's got 750 million users and growing, almost 800 million users now. And this LinkedIn thing now has gone from 1 year ago today. I literally didn't know my password for LinkedIn, and I didn't, and I had a subscription. And the only reason I got on LinkedIn is that I had a subscription for $97 for something on LinkedIn that we just like, why the crap do I have a subscription to this thing on LinkedIn? It was this like sales recruiter tool or something. I was like, we got to cancel that. And so my introduction back into LinkedIn 1 year ago was to cancel a subscription to get off of LinkedIn. I never went. The only time I ever went on there, I just had direct messages from people I didn't know. It was just a place that didn't seem relevant for current business. And it wasn't a place that seemed relevant for getting things done in business. And then something happened. It's an interesting story. Is I logged in, and this is the absolute truth, last November, and I saw a post come up. And I honestly, I had no idea. I don't know if y'all even believe this because I was so disconnected from it. I actually had no idea that LinkedIn was a content platform. I had no idea. So I logged in, and then when I was going to cancel the thing, it popped up, and I saw this post, and it was from a lady named Sarah Brazier. Sarah Brazier was an SDR, a sales development rep at Gong, and I saw this post, and it had like 26,000 likes and comments, and it was like all these comments and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, this person is like a celebrity or like has this huge personal brand, all this kind of stuff. And I just started reading and I started looking into it. I was like, this is interesting. Sarah is an individual contributor who just started recently at this company called Gong, and she wrote a post and it's got this much. And so I started digging in and I started looking. I was like, wow, this is interesting. What's happening here? So I messaged Sarah and I'm like, Sarah, hey, I saw your post. It was really cool. It was really good. And she was like, oh, dude, yeah, LinkedIn is awesome. And so it was this beginning of going like, hey, wait a second. I had no idea this world even existed. And then I talked to Sarah and I called her. And here's what I did. I called Sarah and I paid Sarah $1,000 to talk to me. I literally said, you know something I don't know, I'm going to give you $1,000. So she was like, well, I'm not a consultant. And I said, well, I'm going to pay you $1,000 to talk to me for an hour. So I paid Sarah $1,000. She got on the phone for an hour and she told me everything she knew about LinkedIn. And she exposed me to what we're going to talk about today, that it is the biggest, most unbelievable opportunity that I've seen in my career since Facebook, early 2012, 2011, 2012 in Facebook, and early Twitter, 2009. This right now, we're in a window and we're in a season of time where LinkedIn could be something that could get you everything you want out of your career and out of your life. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm just telling you, we're here to prove it. And so I don't know where you are today. And I don't know what you want today. I don't know what you need more of. It may be you're wanting more clients. It may be you're wanting more leads. It may be you're wanting more influence. It may be you want a personal brand in your career. It may be that you're looking for more money. You want to make more money in another role. It may be you're looking for influence. It may be you're looking to recruit staff. I don't know what you need more of today, but I'm here today to tell you that LinkedIn is that place for our current business environment. And I can confidently say it because we have experienced it and gone from 1 year ago not knowing my password to now Gravy becoming one of the top LinkedIn companies in the entire world. And not just to be cool about it, but it's actually producing real business results. And so I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to ask you a question for you. What do you want more of for your business or your career? And I want you to put this in the chat. What are you looking for? Leads? Are you looking for staff? Are you looking for influence or clout? Are you looking to build a personal brand? Are you looking for a job change? I would love it if in the chat right now, I want to know what you're looking for more of in your career. What would you love to have more of? Hit me. More leads for business. All right, Andrew, that's great. Leads, personal brand. Okay, awareness. Yep, brand building, leads. I'm looking for a job change. That's good. As I leave the classroom as a former teacher, perfect. Branding, leads and PR, brand exposure for the business. Brand, that's good. Leads and branding. Okay, lots of leads, branding. Okay, this is good. This is clear. Influence. I love that, JD. Influence. And so audience target for paid campaigns. Yep, which we do, which works, which is awesome. And when you build your LinkedIn brand and then you use paid ads after, the ads are so much more effective and successful because they know who you are. Skipping the recruitment cycle to meet connections for my dream job. Emily is the perfect place for that. Okay, so here's the number one thing I want you to write down, the number one thing I want you to think about. Here's how we approach LinkedIn and here's how we think about it. And here's why it's such a powerful platform is that I believe that everything you want for where you want to be and what you want to have in your life, I think you got to think who, not how. I think you got to think who, not how. And what I mean by that is the who, the next person that you're going to meet, the next relationship that you have, the next connection that you have, the more who's you know, And the better you know them, and the more the who's that know your business and the more who's that know your brand are more likely to take your phone call. They're more likely to join your staff. They're more likely to offer you to come on their staff. Is that the best place to connect with more who's in your network is going to be LinkedIn. And so everything you want for what's next starts here. So I want to start with, when I started, it didn't start with this big dream of like, we're going to dominate LinkedIn. It started just by going like, wow, I think we can get more business here. And I think we can recruit more staff here. And so the first thing that we learned in doing LinkedIn was the reason why it's so successful and why it's the solution for everything your career is this. There are 750 million users. Okay, think about that. And it's growing exponentially. But only 4 million users post once a week. Follow me? 750 million users, only 4 million users post once a week. So that is 0.055%. Just post at least once a week. Now, here's the deal. Inside of even those posts, the question is their content any good? Like, what are they posting? Because what most people post once a week on LinkedIn is something from their company, like, hey, we have a webinar, and that's all they post. Or, hey, we have this thing, or hey, come buy from us, or hey, here's what we do at ATDC, or hey, here's what we do at Gravy, or whatever. And we just do like updates. And it's like, we talk about our company, and we talk about those kind of things. But what we have learned over the last year, that the number one way to win LinkedIn is the number one way, it goes back to the oldest thing in human history, is that if you're going to get value out of it, you got to put value into it. You have got to have a massive amount of value input to LinkedIn on a consistent basis. And out of the back end of LinkedIn, it's going to do something that you never thought was possible. And here's why. You guys are the Georgia Tech algorithm understanders. I don't understand algorithms. I don't even know what an algorithm is. I have no idea. But I'm going to tell you right now, the LinkedIn algorithm is giving the most free organic reach of any platform I've ever seen. Meaning, we have people on our team, I can tell you their names, Patience, Dharma. They have 150 people following them on LinkedIn. They start writing content once 2 to 3 times a week. They have thousands of people following their posts. My assistant, Bria, she's on this webinar today. She posted last week. She says thousands of people that are viewing her content, liking it, and connecting with her. The algorithm is opened up for a reason. And you say, well, why would the algorithm be opened up? Because what LinkedIn learned was, if you guys and if I open up their app consistently, then more people will come on the app consistently. As more people come on the app more consistently, then they can sell more ads. And then over time, what will happen? Mark my words, the window of reach will close, and they will then make you pay to have the same reach that you can get for free now. So all of the leads, all of the staff, all of the job connections with companies you want to work at, whatever, you right now have the opportunity to get it for free. All it takes is effort, and the effort has to lead to you adding value to the platform. And so the question then would be, okay, if who I need, if who is my answer, my next answer, and then LinkedIn is the platform because the algorithm's open and there's a window, what the crap do I do? Well, I'm glad you asked, because a lot of people say, well, Casey, just tell me what to do. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you what to do, and I'm going to share with you why this works. And I'm going to talk to you today from an individual perspective for you to be able to do this. And then during question and answer, we can open it up and say, okay, now how does your entire company do this if you want to inspire the company to do this? But the first thing I would tell you is, you can't inspire your company to do something that you're not doing. You've got to lead the way. That if you're here today, you care enough to be the person that will be the person that leads the way. And the way that we got started on LinkedIn was that I got started, and I just started sharing. Here's what's happening. Here's how many people are looking at this, and I started sharing it. And then from that, it was amazing. Now, here's the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna get to the practical. Is every single person listening to this should build a personal brand. I really believe that. I believe that the personal brand is the new 401k, okay? I believe the personal brand is the new 401k. And what I mean by that is, if I contribute 3% to your 401k, that's okay, whatever. But a personal brand is something that you keep no matter where you work. A personal brand is something that you, when you go to your next job, people will still answer your phone calls if you're trying to get leads and sales and this, that, and the other, because you have a personal brand. Your personal brand is the ultimate transferable asset that no matter where you go or what you do, whether you start your own business or you work somewhere else into the future, that you can cash in on. And what we've seen and found, and we don't have the full study on this, but I'm starting to see it and I'm starting to get, when you have a personal brand, you can almost double your income of your salary. Like if you go work somewhere else, just because you have a personal brand, people just think like all of a sudden that you're just this expert and you've got so much more value because they get to see an entire litany of your value and not just look at a resume stacked up against everybody else's. And so this is the ultimate differentiator when it comes to that. So I'm going to give you the 5 steps that you can take today and we're going to get after it. Okay, here we go. The first thing I would do if I were you, update your profile. Okay, everybody here can do this today. Update your profile. Now, you have to determine why are you on LinkedIn, and that should drive what your profile is for. Now, I say this, but don't go look at mine right now because mine says CEO of Gravy and not a TEDx speaker. Not a TEDx speaker, because I see everybody says TEDx speaker, and I'm like, I'm not one. So the point of that is we don't take ourselves too seriously. But if I were you and I was getting started out, and what I did was get started, is like, be really clear in your profile. It is a marketing hook. It is a headline. You don't even have to say what your role is if you don't want to. The headline of your profile shows in the comments that you make, it shows in the post that you make, and it is a consistent presence. Get your picture right. Your picture is your brand. It is going to be a thing when people see that, they associate it with what's next. And so make sure your picture is right and make sure your profile headline is right. And write it in such a way that would be like this. Like, let's just say, I saw somebody the other day, it was really good. It said, it says, do you want to scale your sales team to $50 million in revenue? That's their profile. A hook, a headline, something that just says, here's what that person is. That's interesting. And the reason that's important is because when people read an interesting profile headline, they will click on your profile. And when they click on your profile, it will show interest in you. And when it shows interest in you, you can do what I will teach you to do next on how to connect and build your following from scratch. But first of all, update your headline, update your picture. And then the third thing you do is your about and your bio. You need to think about that from the standpoint of it's a sales letter. It's driving people. If you want more leads, it needs to be written in such a way that people would read it and go, I'm interested in what they do, not about you, but about what you want them to do. If it's for staff, then you write it in such a way that you get staff. And so people overlook that and they just think, oh, I want to do this. And then go to update all of your work profile and your history. One of the things I strategically did on mine was, if you look at mine, it says Rocket Company, and I was there for, I forget, 6 or 7 years, and I put exit 2016, and then I've been at Gravy for this period of time. Here's the reason why. I want people to know, like, listen, this isn't our first rodeo. Like, I want people to know the story, the history, the story of what I've done to build credibility. So when we're recruiting staff, people know, I'm not saying, it's just, this isn't the first time we've done this. Like, we're on the third round of this. And so update your profile. That's number one. So number 2 is connect with those around you. So this is important. Connect with those around you. Who's in your organization? The number one thing I see is most people don't even start with their own organization. So like, you should do it, but then lead the charge of it in your organization of connecting with every single person that you work with. Okay. But not only that, connect with every single person that you've ever worked with. It's the best place to start to build your following. Why does this matter? Okay, here's why it matters. LinkedIn's algorithm is set up in such a way that the faster you're building connections, the faster they'll show your content to other people. The more trust people have in you, the more trust people have in you is that they're willing to connect with you. And so building your connections, we see so many people that go out there and they just want to write content. And I think that's how you get started. The connection strategy is the place to start. And so if you can build your connections to the first 100 and to the first 1,000, that's where my mind would be first of like, how do I get to that first 1,000 connections? How do I get to 1,000 connections? After 1,000 connections, then it's the 10,000 connections, but starting there and thinking about that and with the people you work with and within your network. And so what I did and what I do is I got my phone out. This is highly practical. I literally looked through and scrolled through any of your other social media accounts or your phone, and it just jogs your memory of people that you can go connect with on LinkedIn that are going to know who you are, that are going to accept your connection, and that you're going to be able to connect with. And LinkedIn, people overlook this value. It's the simplest way to gain favor in the algorithm. It's the simplest way to gain favor, but people don't think about it. So that's number 2, connect with those people around you inside your organization, inside your network, and start today. Number 3, all right, here's the big way to do this. And we're just going to start. It's going to be highly practical, okay? I call this 10-3-1. 10-3-1. Here it is. 10 new connections per day. 10 new connections per day. Everybody here can do that. 10 new connections per day. You say, how do you do a connection? Well, here's what everybody should, the lowest level fee that you can have on LinkedIn to see who views your profile is $29 a month, okay? It is the best. People are like, $29 a month? I'm like, listen, you're gonna meet somebody that's gonna pay you 29 times what you're currently paying. You're gonna meet somebody that's gonna pay your salary 5x what you're currently making. Like $29 a month allows you to see who views your profile. Very important. It's a great step. I think everybody should do it. And then what you do is that when people view your profile, connect with them. So when you're starting out, when they view your profile, you connect with them. Now, what I did for the first probably 6 months is I wouldn't just connect with them and just press connect. I would send personal messages to every single one of the 10. Hey, I went to your website. I could connect with you. Hey, and every single day I would send personal messages and connect and look for people that either A, we were looking to hire, or B, that we were looking to do business with. And I would not send stupid copy and paste messages. Listen, your effort on personalization is what's going to build your brand into the future. So you've got to be highly personal at first to win. And what people will connect with is you as a human and your humanness and your specific nature in connecting with them in their inbox. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the number one way to connect with people when you're first starting is by using the voice audio feature on LinkedIn mobile, okay? They don't have it on desktop, but on mobile, I use, especially when getting started, personal messages. I would send an audio message to every single person that I connected with. And every single time I would just say, it's great to connect with you. I went to your website. I looked at what you did. This is awesome. Can't wait to be in the community. I just learned about LinkedIn. And I would say something about them or their profile or their company or something. And here's the deal about an audio message. And here's the deal about doing a video and sending it in the direct message is the curiosity of somebody seeing an audio still gets me. It still gets me. I can skim and I can read the typing and I go, oh, okay, I'll filter it out. I can't, the curiosity of seeing that little bar that says 45-second audio from somebody I don't know, I'm like, I just have to know what they're saying. Like, it just gets me. And so start there. It's a great place to start, and it's work. So that's the 10, pay the $29 a month. That's the 10 new connections per day, and that's where I start. So what's the 3? 3 meaningful comments a day on LinkedIn. 3 meaningful comments a day on LinkedIn, okay? This is one of the fastest ways to grow your personal brand on LinkedIn and to grow your company's brand on LinkedIn. Listen, everybody's so worried about the number one reason that people don't post on LinkedIn. I've asked this 2 different times and I've had big answers on the polls. And the number one reason that people don't post on LinkedIn is they don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Like, I just don't know what to say. And the second reason people don't post on LinkedIn is I don't know if anybody will care about what I have to say. And so there's this big fear with a lot of people that are getting started or getting moving or getting their company moving, that they've got to be these content writers that do all of this content all the time and all this kind of stuff. And I say, no, you're missing it. Here's the 3. let other people write the content, and then you be the best commenter that there's ever been on LinkedIn. You write the most meaningful comments that they've ever seen on LinkedIn. And so when I was starting, I did more than 3, but I kept it, and I was like, I'm doing like 30, but I'm extreme, and I'm, if you want to grow fast, do 30, but minimum do 3. 3 people's post, and here's what it is. You go to the post, you read it, and what everybody does, they either hit the like button or they go to the comment and they're like, that's great. Your effort as a commenter sucked. It was terrible. Like, don't be a terrible commenter. Be the best commenter on LinkedIn. And the reason why is everybody is self-centered at the core and in some nature. And when somebody takes enough time to write a meaningful comment on your post, you notice their name. You remember them. I have people that literally, I feel like these people literally like are great human beings. And I'm like, well, why do I think that? I've never talked to this person. I've never, but I see their picture and I have this positive brand connection with them. And it's like, oh, they're freaking awesome commenters. And so many people are missing this. And so find people that and what I do is I go out and I find posts that are moving virally. And what happens with the algorithm, I found this out. I can't prove it, but I can prove it with screenshots off my phone, but I don't have the algorithm genie thing, whatever it is. And so here's the deal. Anytime I write a comment that's the length of a post, LinkedIn puts my comment first up on the feed. And so when you see that person's post that's going viral, mine's the first comment that comes underneath it. And I'll get 60, 70, 80, 100 different people that will connect with me off of that comment, and then we'll connect and back and forth on it. And so the meaningful comment, you say, okay, what does meaningful comments mean? What does that mean? Well, it means create a reaction one way or other to their post, agree or disagree, right? And so one of the things I've seen about LinkedIn is, listen, I love nice people, and I love people that are so sweet. I love all that. But the people who have their LinkedIn that get stuck is that it's just the same people talking to the same people about the same stuff and everybody agreeing with everything. Okay? All of my posts and comments and anything that has grown our brand the most have been things that have been a little bit of controversial, where I disagreed or I put an opinion out or I said something, because it creates a reaction. And so when you create these meaningful comments, do something, create a reaction to their post. Agree, disagree. Follow it up, provide more stats, give a link. Other people have done this to me. Said, Casey, I read that. Hey, did you know about this book or this article that talks more about that? And they responded to my post. They bring a link in and they put it there. Huge way to grow your following on LinkedIn, okay? It's overlooked. It's not sexy. It's the groundwork, but it freaking works. So 10, connect with 10 people today. Personal messages. 3, comment, meaningful comments. Take time to actually comment. Add value to the writer, add value to the audience. And then number 1 is one post per day. 1 post per day. 10, 3, 1. I would do these every single day for 30 days if I was getting started. Every single day. Well, Casey, I need to take take Sunday off. Take whatever you want to take off. But like, you're never going to do well at LinkedIn by being sporadic. The algorithm favors consistency because consistency breeds trust in your audience, and your audience will start responding. And as you have more response, it will show it to more people over time. Okay. I just had a post literally right now. It's crazy. I'm going to pull it up just because I don't think any of y'all believe me. Just to see what this is doing. This post is at 700,000 views. Okay. I've got a post at 7. Can you see that? Can you see that, Walker? 700,000 views, just past 700,000. Am I saying that to be cool? No. But here's what I'm telling you. LinkedIn would not be showing this post to 700,000 people if I hadn't spent the last year creating consistency in the content that we offer, and it builds and grows and grows and grows. It is an investment, and it is compounding over time. There is compounding algorithm interest for you to be consistent. So 1 post per day. That's what I would do. You say, Casey, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to say. Well, good, because I'm about to tell you. I'm going to help you. We're going to tell you how we do it. and I'm going to tell you exactly what you can start with, okay? The very first thing that I would start posting is what I call the what I learned post. It's the what I learned post. The what I learned post is what did you learn today and how did you apply it? And what was the success or failure of it? It's that simple. Okay, so I went to a webinar today with this crazy guy and I disagree. Go disagree with me. I disagree with what he said. He is a terrible person, whatever you want to say, go out and do that. I guarantee you will get a ton of views and it will work. But just talk about what you did today. Everybody's an expert in their life, okay? You're an expert in everything you do. Like I did it, I saw it, and I talked about it. Now, that's one type of post. I'm about to give you a bunch. All right, so write these down. So that's the what I learned post. Then there's the analytical post. I know we've got some analytics people here. Check this out. Every single post I've done, and I don't know why, every post I've done that has listed a bunch of numbers of data or analytics takes off. It takes off. And so there's something about proving what you do and the test of what you're doing. So let me give you an example. The number one reason that I'm on LinkedIn and we're on LinkedIn for me is not new business. That's not why I'm there. I am there to recruit staff, okay? I'm there to recruit staff. And so one of the things that we've been able to do is take our staff recruitment cost from where we're paying recruiter fees, tons of money, to zero. And you say, people told me for the last year, you can't recruit software developers. You always have to have a recruiter. We have them lining up out the door. We've got them lining up out the door, have our pick, like trying to figure out, go through all of the different software developers that are wanting to come in. And you go, well, why? Well, one of the posts that we do are analytical posts. And so what I've done is that we go out and I show, and I'll write down the recruiting cost in the post. I talk about the time to hire, and I put the specific numbers in there and the analytics of our hiring process. And for some reason, people eat it up. So what is that for you? What do you do that you can pull some numbers in and show people? Because here's what I've learned about analytical posts of why they work. People want to know how they stack up. That's what I think. I think people want to know, how am I doing? Because there's not like this ranking out there of like all this stuff that's happening. And I don't believe all the big reports. So like this big company comes out with this big report. I'm like, no, I want to hear from a normal human being that's running a real company about what's really happening in their company. And so you can do that and that will help you. Okay. Very important. Villain post. Okay. A lot of you don't want to do this because you want to be Mr. or Miss Nice person. Well, listen, you can be nice, but you also can create villains. And when you create the villains, what happens is that there's a lot of people on the side of the villain. And then here's what I would do. So let me give you an example of a villain post. Oh, last week, perfect example. We had a company that they copycatted us. They totally copycatted us. Like not competitioned us, copycat, like took stuff off our website and put it on their website, used our language, all this kind of stuff. So I just called it out. I just said, here's what's happening. Here's what it is. And that's an example of what we would call a villain post. And so we called it out, we put it out there, and that creates strong reactions one way or the other. And guess what happens? Those strong reactions, you get tons of engagement, tons of comments, tons of things happening. And so what would that look like for you? If you're not wanting to do like necessarily something with competition, a villain can be, example would be if you're a salesperson, a villain could be somebody sending you a nasty email back about like you need to shut up or being hung up on. And so you make the villain the people that are mean to salespeople, right? And so what would the villains of your role look like? What would the villains of what it would be like look like for you? So those are examples of different types of posts. I'm going to stop right here. And just ask, if you're bored and want me to shut up, press 1. I've got 9 minutes left of content. I can stop and we can go AMA. No, let's do this. Instead of this, let's do 1, let's do AMA. 2, finish my content right now. 1, we go straight AMA. 2, finish the content where I give you algorithm hacks and I give you a couple more of these type of posts. Okay. 2. Okay. I just don't want to bore. Listen, I know how it is to be on these things and you're like, there's a guy talking and he's like, I came for this reason, but he's not talking about it. And you know, all this kind of stuff. I get it. But I'm here to tell you, if I'm not adding value, I want you guys to like put I know what you should do. Katie, what they should do is they should put the orange emoji in there. That's what we should do. And I would love that. It would be really good. I love it. All right. Let me give you a couple more of these type posts. Oh, here's a great one that you can't forget this one. This is the quotation post, okay? This is one of my favorite ones to do and it works really well. So the quotation post is taking something that somebody told you in your life or like, for instance, they never said that they said I would never amount to, my dad said I would never amount to anything. And it's in quotations and that's at the very top of the post. Great post. Because a bunch of people have had their dad tell them that, right? There's something they said. Or my boss told me to do X and I didn't feel comfortable doing, like what they said this. And so something that somebody told you or a piece of advice somebody gave you, you put in quotations. And the best part about it is that these universal things that have been said that either hurt your feelings or helped you or made your career better, not like a quote, not like a motivational quote, but things that have been said to you. Because the reason that works is that it engages emotion that people couldn't believe that they were said to you, or they agree that it was said to you and they are agreeing with it. And so the quotation post is a great post. It works just about every time to get a lot of engagement. Let me give you another one. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Recruiting post and selling post. Hey, listen, here's a news flash. Nobody gives two craps about your company, okay? They don't. I don't, you don't, we don't. Nobody cares about your company. Nobody. So you go post, our company is doing da-da-da-da-da, and our company, nobody cares, okay? So you need to start. Listen, I see recruiters, I can't even believe that recruiters think that this works. Like, hey, we're recruiting for these positions, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nobody cares. It's not interesting. And so here's the mindset. You've always got to think, like, I don't care when I see those posts and people post those things and they don't work, or people post, oh, another one. You're trying to get people to sign up for something. Nobody cares about your thing. They only care about themselves. So you've got to write it in such a way that's beneficial to them. And oh, by the way, here's this thing. Okay, so let me give you an example for recruiting staff. I just did it yesterday. So ask a question. So I asked a question, and here's the question. I said, what do you think? I forget the exact question it was. It was something along the lines of like, what makes a great, I said, if you had to boil it down to one thing, what makes a great software developer? Okay. So I asked that question. So guess what happens? The algorithm, and then I do the hashtag software developer. The algorithm start, and you say, well, Casey, how do you know the algorithm is doing certain things? Well, these are second and third people that are not connected with me that start jumping on the post, meaning that LinkedIn is taking it and putting it in their feed because they think it's relevant content based upon what I wrote that throws it in their feed. And guess what? Now everybody's going to go steal our software developers. Dadgummit. I shouldn't have even said this. I'm joking, but I'm totally joking. Don't get mad and say Casey's mad and he's territorial. I'm totally kidding. So here's the deal. So now everybody's telling me all the reasons of what makes, they're boiling it down. Well, guess what? As they start commenting, guess what happens? When you comment on LinkedIn, it shows it to people in your network. Software developers beget software developers. And all of a sudden, if you go look, these products, software, front end, back end, data, you go look at it, and we have all these people, and they've come out of nowhere. And people say, software developers aren't on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, yes, they are. And so we pull them out. They start commenting because they have an opinion on it. And then it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. It works really well. Another one I did, the one that was 700,000 views, a great example of this is that I said that I pay my kids $20 an hour to code. You think I'm talking about my kids? I'm not talking about my kids. I'm pulling software developers out of their non-LinkedIn presence, and they are crushing, either agreeing with me or disagreeing with me. But then we have an entire list of people that then we're able to talk to. Now, you can do this for sales too. So you can do this for sales. So let's just say you're trying to recruit Stripe people. you need to sell to people because you sell to people in the Stripe space, whatever. You could put like, hey, what's the number one way to do something on Stripe? Like, ask about it instead of saying, hey, we sell to Stripe people and we want to help you and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Let them talk about themselves. Let them be the expert. And then on the back end, connect with them individually, then hit the voice message, hit the video, and then get after them. So that's how we view LinkedIn. This isn't a let's just post. Like there's a whole series of thought going behind this. And I've got 13 different types of posts that you do. Now, let me give you some algorithm hacks and I'll shut up. Number one, now I actually pay, y'all don't tell anybody this, okay? This is true. I just recently paid somebody from LinkedIn that's not a consultant a lot of money to consult me for 1 hour to tell me about their algorithm, okay? So this comes straight from them. Do not use more than 5 hashtags, okay? So I see people, they put like 30 hashtags. They said something about the hashtag, said stick with 5 or less. It doesn't matter where the hashtags live in the post, okay? So hashtags, that's it. Don't post more than 1 time in 4 hours, but you can post multiple times a day. You can post multiple times a day. And it's very important to do so. You'll get different audiences on different days. Listen to this. This is very important. I see this with our Gravy staff and I go, oh, no, Gravy staff, you're missing it. Is that Mondays are suppressed in the LinkedIn algorithm. Did you know that? Why? Because everybody's coming back and they're fresh and they had this time to think. No. The best post I've ever made are on Sunday afternoons. Sunday night at 6 p.m., throw something out there. Boom, people are sitting there, getting ready for the week, having a glass of wine, watching Netflix. They open their phone. They will show it to more people. You have more opportunities to post in the down times, not when everybody else is posting. So, post should be, oh, this is good, very good. Okay, follow this. Post should be 10 comments in 24 hours is what gets the algorithm juicing. Okay. If you get 10 comments in the first 60 minutes, your comments will speed up and it will send your post to more people faster. And so this is something that's very important. What I do in every post, you'll notice, is I'll ask a question in just about every post is I'm asking a question. The question, and make the question simple. The number one post I do is like when you ask a complicated question. People don't have time for complicated. It's like I read it and I need a reaction. So it's like press 1 or agree or disagree or give me your thought or what's the one word. Like make it super simple. And inside of that, what happens is if you get 10 comments in the first 60 minutes, it'll speed it up. But here's a hack for that as well. When you get 1 comment, go look at all my posts. And you'll notice what I do. Let's just see if anybody can guess. What do you think I do on as soon as I post and as soon as a comment comes in? Yep, not just reply. I ask them a question because it counts. So if it's like, what's the one thing software developer makes them the best? Curiosity. I say, why did you say curiosity? Can you tell me a practical example of why you said curiosity? They respond. I respond, and then doom. We're at 10. Once you're at 10, it's taking off, it's rolling, and it's moving. So don't just reply, ask a question, okay? Did you like Epic, Faith No More? Yes, I love Epic. Fantastic, John. Oh, this is huge. Conversations in the threads of your comments, way more in the algorithm. So, that's why I forgot that she told us this. Reply in the comments and create like where people will engage with your comment in the algorithm. And so don't treat your comment as if you were just talking to the poster. Treat your comment like you're talking to everybody on LinkedIn and the poster and ask a question at the end of your comment. And it'll get people commenting on your comment and it will show it to more people and then you'll get more traction on your post. LinkedIn loves emojis. I didn't know this. I had no idea. But they said be cautious not to overdo it. So throw 1 emoji, 2 emojis in. You can sneak those in, and those are some of the things. And so, guys, this is what we do. This is what I do. And people ask me, here's a couple of questions people ask me. Casey, do you write all your content? Yes. Casey, how do you write your content? Here's how I write it. I'm riding down the road, and I'm listening to something and it sparks an idea. I get to the office this morning and I create a post. Katie, who's on this call, we're talking about what are we going to talk about for team meeting tomorrow? And one of the angles was, why does anybody give a crap about our team? Like, why would anybody care? Why would you work? By the way, don't come work at Gravy if you want easy. We're a miserable place to work as it relates to keeping up with your metrics and delivering, and there's not a bunch of extra, and we're not raising a bunch of extra money, and we're going to make this thing work in a skinny budget. And so, like, I'm going, why do people endure this? Why would you care about this? And so it was just like, okay, well, that would be maybe good for the whole. So everything that we're thinking, learning, doing on a fly, throw it out. Do not edit yourself. Let it rip. Somebody told me the other day they had 29 posts that they're storing up. What are you storing them for? Let it rip. Let the market be what it is. Let the market give you feedback. You will constantly tell yourself that it's not good enough, that nobody cares. And guess what? I'm going to tell you what, it's not going to help anybody sitting on your notes. It's not going to influence anybody in your phone. You're not going to get any more influence doing that. So just get it out. And here's the last thing I'll say. Action creates traction. Action creates traction. And so every day, taking action, waking up. And I talk to so many people, they've got all these high hopes. They got these high hopes, but they've got low effort. Low effort. High hopes, low effort, frustration, misery, not work. So we got to match that. High hopes, high effort. If you tell me you want more, then you got to give more. And that's where you got to start. I'm fired up. I'm about to start preaching, so I'm going to shut up. Let's do some AMA.